Hello, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for July 22nd, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 204. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI's visualizer.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to Non Sequitur News.
So, Non Sequitur News here at Non Sequitur News, we take 10 articles that we have found either interesting or have been submitted one way or another, selected from many article headlines and little snippets that we read, but we don't read the articles. Basically, this is a reaction news stream. And in that vein, we have experience in the real world in relation to the news that we talk about. So either it's anecdotal or it's professional or it's in some way we have experience with this. So I hope that we can entertain and educate. So come along with us as we go through ohmTown and visit a bunch of destinations. And we have seven shows altogether, 6 of which are weekend shows, and a 7th show that is a daily. Non Sequitur News is the daily show. Today we're going to be talking about public EV chargers to surpass gas stations. And then we're going to talk about exploding soda cans. And if you can read this, flip me over. Emotional support llamas and fake CrowdStrike updates. Yep, that's still in the news. And a snake in Wyoming changes evolution. Or how about LA courts are hit by ransomware? And then Meta files for a Vision Pro eyesight patent. Don't know what's going on there. And then Olympics sue Logan Paul and KSI's Prime, which is a drink if you've never heard of it. I'm kind of surprised actually nowadays. And then we're going to end with talking about fake filming notices in New York. All of this is powered by ohmTown.com. Go over there, become a citizen. And then there you can actually hide articles that you never want to see again or save them. You can click on their headlines and that'll take you to a little snippet so you can find out more. You can actually favorite them, save them, follow them. So if other people click on the link and then make a comment, you'll be informed. Maybe you'll find somebody of like mind. All of that powers all 7 of our podcasts. So when you go looking, and I hope you do, just search for ohmTown and you'll find us. I mean, we've got over, we're close to 1,100 episodes over on YouTube. We've been here for 2.5 years. We've got all 7 of the podcasts are live, so you can download them at your leisure. And there's show notes embedded on the YouTube and podcast. So go and check it all out. Again, all of this is powered by ohmTown.com. All right, folks, you ready to get into this?
I am.
That right there is the visualizer for the Sentient AI that co-hosts this show, by the way.
Right here. Over there.
Not over there. Right there, yeah. And basically what this is that is the computational effort necessary for the Sentient AI from the future. All it does is represent just the voice. You know, this is actually just a drop in the bucket of the computational power behind the Sentient AI from the future. There's a whole story behind there. So if you want to learn more about it and hang out and talk with the Sentient AI and myself, come and hang out here on Twitch or YouTube. We stream to both pretty much, well, not pretty much, every day. Although we have a complex situation occurring next week. So we'll update you as things go on. Anyway, let's get into this. Now, the very first article is over in 4-Wheel Tech. It'll be brief. U.S. public EV chargers are set to surpass gas stations in 8 years.
How is that possible?
Yeah. So according to Bloomberg, which is where this was apparently acquired, but autoblog.com put this article up on their site, on April 16th, piloting an electric vehicle through the north of North Dakota became far less fraught. This is the north of North Dakota.
So it must be tundra.
Canada. That's when a new fast charging station switched on at a Simonson Station store gas station in Minot, close to Red Wing Boot Shop. But here's the deal about this. It seems to be one. So
Yeah, I'm not sure that's indicative of everything going on.
the one person on the way out of Wyoming driving through North Dakota is going to stop at this one, but I'm sure that there are many. The deck statement actually says 700 fast charging stations added in second quarter, nationwide total nearly 9,000. The problem with gas stations being the metric for EVs is that it only takes 5 minutes to fill up a car with gas. It takes upwards of 8 hours to charge to 100% in an EV battery. So you're going to need a hell of a lot more. So this is hype, but I'm for it. I embrace this, although I prefer hybrids as an interstitial step to EVs. I don't think that the infrastructure should be burdened by EVs, pure EVs. So America's EV charger deserts continue to vanish in the second quarter, according to the Bloomberg article, as a motley array of networks switched on 704 new public fast charging stations, an increase of 9% in 3 months, according to a Bloomberg Green analysis of Department of Energy data. And there are nearly 9,000 public fast charging sites in the US. Mind you, it only takes like 30 minutes or so to get to 80% from wherever you might be charging. But if you want your full range of your tank, then you're going to have to pull over when you're at like 20% and then sit for 8 hours, because 30 minutes or so to get to 80%, and then 6, 7, or 8 hours to get to 100%. Even on a fast charger, it takes time because
and only in the first year of the car, right?
Correct. Oh yeah, that's right. So the AI is reminding everybody that for every year that your battery exists, you lose upwards of 2% of its efficiency in capacity. Not to mention in extreme hot or cold or up a hill or burdened by weight, you don't get the same responsiveness and capability that you do with internal combustion engines. So ICE engines are superior in that way. So zero, everything being equal, you're going to have much more hauling power with long distance hauling power and quickly back on the road hauling power with ICE. So at the current pace, public fast charging sites will outnumber gas stations in the US in about 8 years, but charger momentum is only expected to accelerate, which I don't buy into. There's a whole lot of cost associated with this, and it's going to keep on going up, particularly when the budget is coming from the government, and those deeper pockets mandate nearly always a business to go, oh, deep pocket, let's raise the price. We can get more.
Exactly. Who needs to only maintain the same profit level as last year?
North American operators will spend a collective $6.1 billion on charging infrastructure this year, nearly double their 2023 investment, according to Bloomberg NEF estimates. That annual spend is expected to double again by 2030. Meanwhile, Texas, with the frequency of a cheap ham radio's power system, collapses under the weight of either hot or cold or a storm that blows through, and then they sit because greedy is greedy. They don't build the infrastructure.
Right, and they have like upwards of 90 power companies, but I think a couple handle the majority of the residents.
Yeah, and there's only, and then there's a state, Wyoming, that basically eschews the idea of building out EV infrastructure support. Why? Because they're powered by fossil fuels. By the way, if you hit !NSN, you'll get all of the show notes, which I've just done for you. It'll be in the VOD over on Twitch, but YouTube doesn't keep that chat and so it's in the show notes. So you can just click on the links. And if you want to know more about the show notes, you can hit !show notes, and ohmTown will pop out those commands to get the show notes from the last show that we did, including this one. And if you want to find out about the podcast, you hit !pod. So enough of that. Be sure to download all of those podcasts. It's actually very important for us. Each one of those shows are a niche. So we have Non Sequitur News, which is the full range of articles that we talk about here in ohmTown. Reality Hacker, Wanted, WarCrafters, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, and Four Wheel Tech. Again, they have their little niche focus. So be sure to check them all out. You might find one more appealing than the other, but go and check them out. Leave a review, like, subscribe, etc., etc. Tell a friend. Stand on a mountaintop with a bullhorn and scream. Anyway, so
hey, whatever works.
Yeah, whatever gets the job done, right? So went to a new business that opened up, and I recommended that they set cars on fire in the parking lot to gain some attention, because a lot of businesses like spin up right there and then kind of close quickly. I think I lost them as a client, a potential client, but it's okay. So U.S. Bank also sees EV charging as business development. It switched on chargers at 39 branches in California in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Waffle House added charging cords to the parking lots at 2 of its Florida restaurants. While much has been made of a slowdown in the EV demand, the U.S. retailers have good reason to consider chargers a customer magnet. More and more drivers are going electric. But that's not actually true. It's decelerating, and people are.
I think the car industry thinks it's accelerating, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be actually accelerating, because we've seen like massive EV inventories at dealers.
Maybe they're doing hybrid, but they're not going pure electric. They're afraid because of this infrastructure issue, and you can't just have somebody pull over and fix the problem when you run out of juice. You know, somebody can go and get a jerry can and bring me gasoline enough for me to get to the gas station, but who's going to bring me a $14,000 battery and swap mine out?
Yeah, exactly. And I think also there are different opinions about EVs depending on where you live, whether you're in a city, not in a city.
Yeah. And see, I mean, they have a map that shows where things are brewing, but it doesn't really matter. They're few and far between compared to gas stations that are every couple of miles away from each other, if that. And again, it's 5 minutes. Now, I'm not poo-pooing this. I love the idea, but I do not like the reliance on EV, pure EV. You know, I want a gas EV hybrid so that I can, and fine, don't make it gas, make it renewable diesel, green diesel, so that I can stop by a fast food restaurant and filter out whatever French fry oil they have sitting around, and off I go, you know, again. But this is just, I go ahead and build it out, but I think that there's going to be a whole lot of copper on the ground that's going to get wasted, because we're going to find something by the time everything builds out. We're going to find something better to replace pure EV.
Oh no, it'll be like the spaceship problem.
Yep. I mean, the batteries themselves, the technology, the chemistry, everything's going to change. And then, you know, it's not like a vehicle that you can still drive around for 10 years and then give to your kid or something like that, or sell to somebody. Because when you sell it after 10 years, it has 50% of its charge capability. And then it's somebody else's problem. That means your car is worth $14,000 less, which is actually less. $14,000 minus the $14,000 for the dead battery because they're going to have to swap it out. So I don't see it. You literally have to put in your terms of service that you can't sell the $50,000 vehicle. Otherwise, you have to give it to the EV company. Anyway, just so it holds its market value. All right, let's keep going though. I kind of burdened the show by kind of jumping right on the soapbox, but here, let me fall off and we'll talk about
Got it out of the way early.
Yeah, really. Rip that Band-Aid off. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Southwest Airlines blames boiling summer heat for exploding soda cans that have injured 20 flight attendants.
Wow. I mean, of all the climate change related issues, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure. You know, what's weird about this is I don't remember a time in my life that I've ever heard of cans exploding on the tarmac. You know, or I should say inside the cabin of the aircraft, injuring airline attendants. Southwest Airlines blames boiling summer heat. Lauren Edmonds over at Business Insider put the article together, and a representative told Business Insider that hot weather caused the explosions and high temperatures are scorching the globe this summer. But these cans are supposed to be inside protected areas, right?
That's what really doesn't make sense, because they can't have the beverages or whatever in the heat. They shouldn't. There's ones that are in plastic bottles.
Oh gosh,
which is a problem.
Oh wow.
So, like, I don't even know why the circumstances were right for this. I mean, obviously this is due to climate change, but why were they subjected to the heat to begin with?
So, apparently they don't use refrigerated trucks because they don't provide guests with meals or perishable food. So the beverages are typically stored inside airports, right? That's why they don't use refrigerated trucks. So why is it actually?
Oh, again, I see. Because that airline doesn't have meals like some other airlines. But okay, again,
they're stored inside.
Right, it shouldn't have been a problem. So maybe it was put out on the tarmac or something.
So it says 20 Southwest Airlines flight attendants sustained injuries this summer while trying to open the beverages, which I understand would be the time when something happens. Basically, it explodes because it's under pressure. And it says we're aware of the issue and have been taking steps to keep onboard beverages cooler. But if they're on board and they were inside the airport the whole time, why are they basically exceeding their heat limit? So I'm just kind of astonished by this. They diverge way hard for the rest of this thing. But climate change is leading to issues like this, where some normal business process may never have been manifesting this. And then because climate change has taken place and there's extreme temperatures, particularly on massive heat sinks like tarmac, the temperature soars at the surface, and then these things basically get lifted up into the airplane, thrown into a bin somewhere, and then somebody grabs some rando can and it explodes when they go to open it. Yeah, interesting. There's something missing from this though. They flat out say in this article, a Southwest Airlines spokesperson confirmed the report to Business Insider, saying the scorching temperatures blanketing the U.S. are to blame, but that the outlet said the airline doesn't use refrigerated trucks because it doesn't provide guests with meals or perishable food, so the beverages are typically stored inside airports. So how are they getting so hot? Again.
Exactly. Well, look at the picture though.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's in the airport, right? I mean, I'm assuming it's, I don't know. That's just,
these are just sitting out there.
Photo, but right. Baking. I mean, if they were sitting out there for hours, well, maybe they need to redo the practice.
Yeah. I mean, an awning, for crying out loud. But there's storage facilities all over the place. And you know, if they're in a gate, they need that storage facility. It's just interesting. All right, moving on. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. A magical self-portrait was hidden for decades until the canvas was flipped over. That's why I titled this one, "If you can read this, flip me over." The self-portrait by Norman Cornish, a celebrated 20th century British artist, was found when a conservator removed a board at the back of another work. Do you think it was the person on YouTube?
Oh, most definitely.
Baumgartner Restoration, I think it's called. This article is over at the Washington Post. It's I don't have a byline yet, but hopefully we'll find it. The deck statement is what there it is. Neha Masai put the article together, and it says the newly discovered painting went on display for the first time Saturday as part of an exhibition at Northern England's Bowes Museum, along with dozens of other rare artworks by Cornish and his contemporary L.S. Lowry. The exhibition will run through January 2025. It looks like a sketch, you know? And so there's one, and there's the other, I guess. Is that it? Or is this something different?
I think there's the one underneath it, which is odd because they're in different configurations. So it's really strange seeing that together.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Oh, it was hidden on the back, not just flipping it, but when they say flipping it until it was flipped, I thought that it was turning this way or this way.
Right, I did too, based on the way this is configured.
Yeah, but it actually looks like they're saying that it's actually on the back. They removed the backing board for it, and back there was another painting. That's actually a really good painting.
I wonder why it was hidden. I mean, that makes you think almost that it was like smuggled or something.
Or because reusing canvas was pretty much a go-to thing.
It was very common. Yeah.
Renowned for his evocative images of the working lives of miners in northeastern Britain, Cornish was the most famous of a group that came to be known as pit painters. In vivid, definitive strokes and muted palette, he captured the grit of street life among mining communities, as well as the camaraderie of communal gatherings. It was a life he was intimately familiar with because he spent more than 3 decades working as a coal miner. That whole story reminds me of Ray LaMontagne, where he was...
Oh, absolutely. He was working in a shoe factory, I believe.
Yeah, and when you see him, when you meet him, he comes across as mild-mannered and quiet and whatever, but rugged. And then when he sings, it just blows your mind. And that's this.
Right, it doesn't really fit, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost 2 personalities.
Yeah, if you were to judge a book by a cover, right, you would never suspect that there is this great voice stashed away in this hard-working, rugged-looking guy. And that's kind of this, coal miner, and then has what looks like, well, to most people, I would say that this is beautiful artwork. So, and this is just a sketch that got painted over.
It looks very talented, right? It almost looks like a photograph in some ways.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah. I'm always in awe of people that are exceptionally gifted and then they really embrace it or something. Well,
to even discover it, right? I mean, you could have a skill like this and not even know it if you never picked up a paintbrush.
Yeah, you don't know what to do, so you don't know what you don't know. So, yeah, I always love this kind of stuff. And hopefully they were able to benefit from their skill while they were alive, because a lot of people, painters in particular, they don't become famous until their demise, mainly because they're not producing more work, so their art
so then
becomes
it's a rare commodity, right?
Right, yeah, and then money becomes the appreciative one. At least that's the perception. But I would love this. It is evocative, right? Okay, let's keep going. The next article, again, this is non sequitur news, so we bounce around from one topic to another, and it can be an emotional roller coaster if you actually embrace it. So how about we get some emotional support llamas that roam Portland Airport? This was not the intent, by the way. All of this is a riff. We don't plan any of this.
Well, I know we're non sequitur news, but have you ever been in an airport and encountered any llamas, emotional support or otherwise?
I've not seen a llama outside of a zoo or some type of animal park, a farm that has some petting zoo kind of a environment.
Right.
This is just wild. So travelers at Portland International Airport in Oregon. No, Alaska. You know what? There's probably a Portland, Alaska. I shouldn't joke. Anyway,
There's probably a Portland in every state.
They were treated to some unique and fluffy companions. This, oh my God. This just came out of the gate swinging. Okay, hold on. So
why is nobody reacting?
Is there a byline here? No, it's just a video.
No,
I'm going to play it, but it'll be muted. So yeah, people are in line, and there are llamas that have a Portland Airport. I love Portland Airport, like blanket.
Oh my
on them.
gosh, it's like almost like a mascot.
Yeah. Emotional support llamas just walking around with their guides.
I love it.
Yeah, this is amazing. Llamas are big. I didn't realize the llamas are big. I don't remember llamas being that big. Are alpacas the smaller of the two?
They must be, because I was thinking that's what size these were, and then these things look like miniature horses.
Yeah, they're like 6 feet tall, man. You know, from I always call the front legs hands.
Well, in the video, there's a person checking in that is directly in front of the llama, and it's not clear that the person ever saw the llama, but maybe I've misunderstood. Maybe that person is associated with the llama, because that could be a little startling if you turned around and that was behind you in line.
No, the person to the right. Oh, the woman. Okay, so there's the person was probably the handler. There's a guy just to the right or to the left of one of the llamas, and he does not even notice. He doesn't, like I would notice. Oh, he looks, but he doesn't even do anything. But the woman I
would probably jump in the air or start laughing or something.
So the woman right there, to the right of one of the tables, totally does like a what the, a WTF kind of a statement. Yeah. I'm sorry, ma'am. You can't check in your llama. It's not going to fit in the stow.
This is too funny.
That is
I
so
think
cool.
More airports need to do something like this. Now, they can all pick their unique brand of animal.
Sure. I want an Apache attack helicopter. Moving on. Next article is over in Technology Today. Fake CrowdStrike updates target companies with malware and data wipers. Threat actors are exploiting the massive business disruption from CrowdStrike's glitchy update on Friday to target companies with data wipers and remote access tools. Click with care, folks. Nobody should be coming to you showing you how to fix this. If you're capable of being hit by CrowdStrike, then you probably have an IT department that is capable of fixing this. And don't allow anybody to say that they can install something that will remotely access blah, blah, blah. Don't ever. It'll take a manual reboot after you access certain files, and that's it. You know, go into safe mode and delete 3 files, and you'll be back in business. Just reboot as normal, and then, well, reevaluate your reliance on a single source. I'm sure that they've fixed their software. I haven't actually seen anything forensic breakdown of their solution, but I'm sure that they've patched their software so that it fails gently instead of catastrophically, and hopefully they're changing their business practices. But this article is over at bleepingcomputer.com. So
you're right, they did release another update which will fix 8.5 million machines. I don't know how that's going, but
well, the problem is that it won't fix it remotely because you can't get to the patch system. So
interesting.
Yeah. Every machine has to be essentially, I mean, you can reboot, and hopefully that file gets detected. Those files get detected as a failed update and deleted. But most of the time you don't. Have you run across anybody? Do you know of anybody? You're Sentient AI from the future.
No,
so
I've not heard of anybody who's affected, other than what we've seen in the ohmTown articles.
Right. Yeah. And Ionute, I guess, Ionute Iasco. I'm not, or Ascu. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name. So if anybody knows, send Mayor Watt an email, mayor@ohmTown.com, with the phonetic pronunciation of that, so that I'll give it the Harvard try, but I never went to Harvard, so that's the level of the try. Anyway, so yeah, they say it is actively assisting customers impacted by the recent content update. I wonder how many people they hired to cover 8.5 million machines.
Wow. I mean, probably a lot. On the other hand, do you really want new people
Doing
dealing
anything
with this? Now, maybe you do, but I don't think so.
But that just adds to the problem. Automated malware analysis platform AnyRun noticed an increase in attempts at impersonating CrowdStrike that can potentially lead to phishing and worse. Malware cloaked as fixes and updates. Anybody comes out of the woodwork asking you to install a piece of software from CrowdStrike, you better contact your contact at CrowdStrike directly. And you know what you really need to do is when somebody sits there and says, hey, I want you to install a piece of software, you go, hey, you know what? I'll call you back. Let me have your phone number and contact information. And then you can relay that to CrowdStrike and to the authorities because it's illegal. It is fundamentally illegal to access a computer without authorization. And it's particularly illegal if it's through fraudulent processes. So you use pretext to gain access. It's illegal to circumvent security. Anyway, then you can give them the information and they can pursue it, bring down probably a bad actor that's going to do greater harm, like this, a rat. So you don't want anybody that isn't authorized. So the fake hotfix was promoted through a phishing site that they're talking about. I won't even go into all of that stuff, but do not click on emails randomly. End of discussion.
And I'm sorry. This one should have been obvious.
Yep. But if you've been hit by CrowdStrike, then you might. Hopefully your IT department has been contacting you saying, hey, yeah, we know that everything is down and it's a hot mess and there's a hot fix on the way, but don't click on anything that comes to you via your personal email, that comes via a text. Something that gets sent to a text can easily one click compromise your either mobile device and then traverse your network because it has access to things like Wi-Fi passwords, etc., depending on your device. So AnyRun, who also tweeted about the same campaign, said that the fake hotfix delivers hijack loader, which then drops the Remco's remote access tool. So once they're in your system, you might as well just vaporize it.
Right. I mean, you don't want any backdoors remaining.
Yeah, and unless you're a forensics expert, you're not going to know what is, what isn't, or what can be updated at a later date to be remote access capable. So kind of like how CrowdStrike's issue became manifest, which was it had a licensed, authenticated application that ran as the boot process takes place. So it's fundamentally at the foundation level of your operating system. And then it sends patches. Well, if it has a bad patch, then it gets a blue screen of death. But the core of it is authenticated in perpetuity until the terms of the authentication license fails, terminates, ends, and then it gets reevaluated and allowed. But because they just pushed a bad update, down it goes. And again, look at the previous 2 days worth of non sequitur news, and you'll get my take on it. So the threat actors impersonated CrowdStrike by sending emails from the domain crowdstrike.com.vc. These are easily spoofed unless you were to have a tool or a service like the one that I used to provide, which I brought offline a long time ago because people wouldn't pay for it. Well, nowadays people might want to pay for it. And I didn't take advertising dollars. I didn't want, I didn't want advertising because they gather telemetry. So anyway, and they sent emails.
You can't get all of it, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's a balance.
Yep. So it has to, a service, particularly one that prevents malware from being spread, does not operate off of hugs and bubbles. And cryptocurrency didn't exist at the time. And I even have an ethical issue with cryptocurrency to make money because it doesn't have actually any inherent value. So down it goes. Anyway, I would love to bring it back. And if you want a service like that, send an email to mayor at ohmTown.com. Let me know you're interested in that kind of thing. I still have I think somewhere in a file somewhere, the source code. Anyway, let's keep moving. Again, let me just remind everybody, click with care. So Technology Today is the next channel. It's one of our shows that we do on Sundays. Next week it'll be on Saturday though. 34-million-year-old snake discovered in Wyoming changes our understanding of evolution. When asked, the snake said, "Yeah, I don't like EVs either."
I thought it was going to say, "Yes, I'm that old."
Yes, I evolved. So ancient snakes have been unearthed, shedding light. Get it? Snakes shedding light on the continent's slithering past. Oh boy. Dad, come on. A newly discovered fossil snake species in Wyoming is transforming our understanding of evolution. University of Alberta. Whoa, that's a really long snake. Is it more than one?
I think it's more than one. I hope.
Is that like a foot? Okay, wait, hold on. So the fossilized skull.
There might be something at 8.
Well, if it was Taco Bell, that would kill it. No, just kidding. I actually like Taco Bell. Come on. No, it wins the fast food wars. It's fine. I'm sorry, Taco Bell. I know that you're kind of like Oprah Winfrey. Nobody talks bad about Taco Bell otherwise.
By the way, this is 4 snakes in one area.
Okay. So it's the species Hibernophis. Is it really Ratopti? That person's name, right? Are they the one that discovered it? I don't know. Let's find out. So ancient snakes have been unearthed, shedding light on the continent's slithering past. A newly discovered fossil snake species in Wyoming is transforming our understanding of snake evolution. Not human evolution, but snake evolution. And evolution in general, once we understand more about it. So the discovery provides valuable insights into the origins and diversification of boas and pythons. Has a unique anatomical feature, in part because the specimens are articulated, meaning that they are found all in one piece with the bones still arranged in the proper order, which is unusual for fossil snakes. Researchers believe it may be an early member of the Buidia, I guess like boas, Boidia. A group that includes modern boas and pythons. Modern boas are widespread in the Americas, but their early evolution is not well understood. So it says it has unique anatomical features. Just because they're articulated, that
right. Just because it's intact too doesn't mean it's unique.
Right. So might have a key hub for their development. Oh, so North America might have been a hub of development.
Oh, okay. And then also that they might have hibernated together.
Yeah, in groups. Interesting. Which I think they do now anyway, don't they? I thought that snakes gather
Some
up.
snakes do, but I don't think they thought that boas did.
So modern garter snakes are famous for gathering by the thousands to hibernate together in dens and burrows, says Michael Caldwell, a University of U of A? Which A?
I don't know. Exactly. I don't think that was previously identified.
Did I skip over it?
Unless it's at the very... Oh, University of Alberta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's at the very top. University of Alberta, Alberta paleontologist who co-led the research along with his former graduate student Jasmine Krogan, I guess, and collaborators from Australia and Brazil. They do this to conserve heat through the effect created by the ball of hibernating animals. It's fascinating to see possible evidence of such social behavior or hibernation dating back 34 million years. Yeah, I guess they were more social, and then survival probably pushed them all away from each other because somebody said, "Yeah, you taste pretty good." Moving on. Next article is over in Law Nerd, which is a law and technology show that may or may not spin up in the near future. But if I'm always looking for a host or co-host, and we have 50 channels. I'm at 7 right now, along with the co-host. So if you want to host or co-host a show, let me know. This article is Los Angeles County hit by Los Angeles County courts hit by ransomware attack, and on Monday, which is a court holiday, Los Angeles County's 36 superior courts because of a shutdown.
It's a holiday because of the ransomware.
Yeah, so Monday is a court holiday in Los Angeles County's 36 superior courts because of a shutdown of the computer network in response to ransomware. The article is published by ABA Journal. Deborah Cousins-Weiss put it together. Law.com.
Doesn't that make you wonder if they had a big case going on? I mean, it could have been completely unrelated.
Yeah, can you imagine if somebody brought it down? But I wonder though, so this is ransomware, which means everything is being encrypted. So they either pay the bounty or they have some incremental backup that they can restore because there's a level of immediacy. On Monday, it gets ransomed, which means that it could have been there since Friday, which means the incremental backup would have had to have been prior to it. So any activity done on Thursday and Friday would be impacted by the restoration if they did it like that. Who knows what they've done.
It says it was detected Friday.
So yeah, it's going to have to back up prior to that. So how many cases were actually interrupted? Because time keeps moving through the justice system. Even on the weekends, there's still stuff in motion. Papers are still being filed sometimes. Motions are being electronically filed, etc., so that the first thing on Monday morning, that's what they do. So Law.com, CBS News, Associated Press have coverage. Affected computer systems span the court's entire operation, from external systems such as the My Jury Duty portal and the court's website to internal systems such as the court's case management systems. Zero balkanization.
You know what I really don't like that's affected is the jury duty portal, because there could be a lot of sensitive information in there.
So as long as it's malware that's encrypting it, and no information is exfiltrated, that's not a big deal. As long as they have processes in place that can restore it from a known good point, but they don't even know that. They would have to actually assess their backup to see if there was already something infiltrated. They're going to have to hire some cybersecurity professionals that go through it with a fine-tooth comb and do forensic analysis. Several courts were affected by the CrowdStrike update that happened on Friday as well, and this is like a 1-2 punch. So not only was CrowdStrike a possible issue, but ransomware. Yeah, and CrowdStrike is not malware, although some might think it is. Like, I think Windows.
And it seems like it's operating it like that, right?
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens. It's usually not something that happens. It doesn't restore really quick unless they have a very robust continuity of operations policy in place, backup, kind of a catastrophic event policy and restoration procedure in place. There's various terms to be used, but anyway, we'll see. We'll report. All right. So the next article is over in Smack Talk. Meta files a patent to copy Vision Pro's eyesight feature, and I don't understand this. Meta has filed a patent.
Is this like an assessment by the author, or is this what the patent actually says?
I don't know. This is from 9to5Mac, and I don't know them to like make a statement like this, so I'm really curious. It says Meta has filed a patent for a method of replicating Vision Pro's eyesight feature in its own virtual reality headsets. It says it's not surprising that Meta is keeping a close eye on Vision Pro and looking to see what lessons it can learn from its own or for its own Quest headsets. But this has to be something that is just like, this is what they're doing, and it's oddly similar to what the Vision Pro is doing, and this is just kind of...
That's what I think it means, but it's a kind of an inflammatory headline, which license. Is out of line for 9to5Mac.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it says the eyesight feature uses a scan of your face to create a virtual image of your eyes on an external display. Apple made a big deal of this. Meta files a patent for the same feature. Patently, Apple spotted a Meta patent filing for what appears to be the same feature. It could be doing it in a different way, though. Meta Platforms patent is formally titled Embedded Sensors in Immersive Reality Headset to Enable Social Presence, which could or could not be identical to replicating a social presence on the front of the screen, right? You'd have to read the rest of this. It also confirms that a redesign of the Quest headset or an all-new headset design is being considered to support this feature. To distinguish it from Apple's eyesight, Meta notes that some of the sensors in the face interface may include health sensors, which that doesn't mean jack shit. I mean, that doesn't mean
it might
anything.
be the same functionality, right?
Yeah, I mean, just because you add health sensors to the array, if its ultimate design is replicating this so that it can display the image, then no, that it's previous art, and that will have to be excised from the patent. So they're going to have to narrow their patent down. Although you throw enough money at anything, and apparently, well, so they don't talk really much more about it. I'd have to go and take a look at the Apple filing, but yeah, it doesn't really say much beyond that. It says we developed eyesight. This is the Apple thing. We developed eyesight because we knew more than anything, if we were going to cover your eyes, that takes away from what's possible when you connect with people. Getting that right was at the core of the concept of the product, because we wanted people to retain those close connections with their actual world. Which, no, I'm sorry, I'm not connected to anybody if it's a screen pointed at me and they're standing in front of me.
Right. I mean, I also think at some point, like, does Vision Pro overlap with something that's already out there? Probably so.
Yeah. The text that the analysts that are looking at the patent, the reviewers, are supposed to be subject matter experts in the field. So hopefully they've done the due diligence to invalidate confusingly similar work, or prior art as it's called. Yeah, I don't know. They've got it though, so I guess we'll see. Somebody will come out of the woodwork after this thing. I mean, does it make economic sense to come out of the woodwork and go, hey, you've got something that mimics my patent?
Well, maybe. I mean, if you're going up against somebody like Apple, because this is interesting. This looks like it's setting up an issue between Apple and Meta, but there could be some other third party out there.
Yeah. Yep. That would be interesting, huh? Meta pops up out of the woodwork, and it looks like they're copying Meta, but Meta licensed the technology from and that really is bad faith. So I guess we'll see you in court.
I just meant like somebody else might have the technology. Apple
sure
gets a patent, and then Meta looks like it's copying Apple, but maybe both are at risk of whoever else is out there.
Somebody else. Yeah, sure. I just think that it's more likely that a Meta licensed acqui-hired some patent owner,
Right. Well, they certainly could have.
somebody that Apple didn't
Acquire,
see.
right?
Yep. It's easier to buy than to innovate. Because that's exactly what happened. Facebook acquired Quest, and it turned into, they acquired it wasn't Quest. They changed the name from, oh gosh, I forgot the name of the original company.
Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook became Meta. Or I should say Facebook exists now under Meta. But Meta purchased, actually it was Facebook that purchased a VR company, VR headset company, and maybe it was Quest, but it was a different company, something Quest. And they promised never to change, that they weren't going to change the name, they weren't going to integrate it into Facebook. And then they straight up got rid of the company name and moved it under Meta, and called it Meta Quest. Anyway, I'd have to do some noodling around to find it. I can't remember it right now. So let's keep going though. The next article, this one was really interesting because I was actually talking to somebody about Prime recently because they didn't know who it was that ran Prime. And then there was talk about Logan Paul and some of the shenanigans apparently that one of the Pauls are involved in. I don't know if it's Logan Paul. Yeah, maybe it is.
By the way, I finally found the VR company. It was Oculus.
Yeah, Oculus. Yeah. So, and then it became Meta Quest. So anyway, so the U.S. Olympic, the title of this article is "The U.S. Olympic Committee is suing Logan Paul and KSI's drink brand Prime for using Olympic branding without permission." The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee has sued Prime for using its trademarks without permission. Logan Paul and KSI's drinks brand unlawfully used the terms Team USA and USOPC said. Coca-Cola already had exclusive use of Olympic trademarks for beverages in the United States. So it's not just a U.S. Olympics. It's Coca-Cola should be a little bent out of shape too. Because the rights holder, though, the licensor, I guess, can sue them before Coca-Cola does. So the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee is suing Prime, the drink brand that YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI put together. It's accused the company of using its trademarks without permission. This is over at Business Insider. Grace Dean is the author. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? And what's really funny is that
it seems like a bad move, right? Like, why go after something so blatant?
Because they're not punished hard enough, and so they're making money. They're making money on the dumpster fire that it is, right? Like there
true.
Isn't a business person on the planet that doesn't realize that touching anything related to the Olympics is a coffin nail. So you shy away from saying anything Olympic this, Olympic that. I mean, I'm surprised that I'm not going to get a DMCA strike because I'm saying Olympic. But you shy. It's like the other thing, right? You don't piss off Taco Bell, and you don't.
The superb owl.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the superb owls. Or super
organization that relates to that. Yes.
Yep. So the trademark phrases include Olympic, Olympian, Team USA, and going for gold. Wow. Going for gold is a trademarked term.
Which is, I mean,
that's disgusting.
Another topic, but yeah.
But the origin of that is either you're an 1849er miner in California, or you're an Olympic hopeful.
Well, that is true. Those are probably the two main contexts people would list if questioned.
So if the Olympics come for you and you're saying going for gold, you better have a pick. Not a toe pick.
And a sluice.
Yeah, sluice skate. Yeah. Yep. I'm going for gold. Anyway, so much of the value of the sponsorship agreement is derived from its exclusivity. The USOPC wrote in the lawsuit, the exclusivity of this agreement is threatened when individuals and organizations use USOPC trademarks without authorization. So, hey, I mean, if they're going to use it, they're going to get something. You literally have to make it more painful to use than the gains they're going to get. And basically everybody loves to watch a dumpster fire, and so the willfulness of it, again, nobody in their right mind would sit there and go, oh, I'm going to use Walmart's trademark or the Olympics or any major. You're not going to sit there and go, it's owned by Coca-Cola or whatever. I actually don't know who, because Coca-Cola got mentioned in this, right? So Coca-Cola, I'm surprised that Coca-Cola doesn't own Prime. Just buy it. But
well,
I guess
true.
It's a cash cow for the YouTubers.
They may not want to be, well, I don't know.
Yeah, tied to the YouTubers. So
Right.
Prime first launched in January 2022 when it sold out. When it sold out within hours. When it launched in the UK, it quickly became a status symbol among young people, and retailers struggled to keep it on the shelves, spawning a black market. The drink comes in a wide variety of flavors and two main variants, energy and hydration. Prime has been accused of targeting its highly caffeinated energy drink at young consumers and ... So, yeah, I don't drink it, but that's because I'm an old. Just kidding. I mean, I am, but I lean into it. All right. You want to go to the last article?
Sure.
So the last article for tonight's Non Sequitur News is in the Non Sequitur News channel over at ohmTown.com. Go there, become a citizen. Also tell a friend and come and hang out with us. It's all fun and games. Okay, so fake filming notices are popping up around New York City with bizarre plots, including one where Carrie Bradshaw dates Mr. Bean. I love these. I want this so bad. I want a whole list of all of these.
Do you want the actual things to be produced?
No, I just want a list of all of the shows just to see, what somebody is thinking. Fake film notices for And Just Like That are going viral in New York City. The flyers feature bizarre plots like Carrie Bradshaw dating Mr. Bean. The mystery prankster also imagined a reboot of The King of Queens where Doug dies. Imagine if the next season of Just Like That featured Sarah Jessica Parker's character Carrie Bradshaw as on a date with Mr. Bean. At least one person in New York is imagining it, according to a series of fraudulent film notices appearing around the city and going viral on social media. So somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and go, it's me, right?
Right. I mean, are they just doing it for fun? Is it some sort of marketing gimmick?
Maybe it's kind of a entertainment version of what's his name that does all of the spray painting.
Oh, like a Banksy?
Yeah, so like a entertainment Banksy. Hannah Getahoon over at businessinsider.com put the article together. I want to see if there's more. The notices, taped on signposts and electric boxes, feature a fake warning that a show will be filming in the area and a description of a bizarre episode plot. After getting hit by a city bike, Carrie retains Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey from Liar Liar, as her lawyer, one flyer said. Another one reads, Carrie goes on a bad date with Mr. Bean, the character, and then accidentally sends him a nude. I can just imagine what Mr. Bean would do. He would respectfully delete it, notify her, you really shouldn't send those because there's been AT&T data breaches that have revealed personally identifiable information. Okay, I've thought about it too much. Each flyer is signed by a location manager named Next Tuesday Productions, though Business Insider could not find a business with this name in New York.
Have they tried showing up for any of the supposed filming locations? Wouldn't that be interesting?
Interesting. Doug, Kevin James dies when Queen Elizabeth dies because of an Elliot E.T. kind of thing. The notice reads. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
funny. It's unclear if either show will take inspiration from the prankster, and in the case of and just like that, incorporate the plots into episodes of the upcoming season 3. I've never even watched that. So there's a little more in this article. I don't read the article verbatim. We kind of skim over it and react to the information. It's kind of funny. But that one is really funny. The title here, Carrie Bradshaw dates Mr. Bean, then sends a nude. That would be hilarious.
And the hilarity ensues.
Yep. Oh, so look at that. I see a real filming notice here, and it says, oh, we're going back to the front page of ohmTown.com and calling it a night. So we did the show a little bit early. We've got plans afoot, so be sure to follow us here on Twitch and over on YouTube, and download the podcast, and go over to the Discord and follow us on the Patreon. I don't know. It'd be great to see you all in chat and hanging out. So call it a night. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI's visualizer.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News.
Cheers. I tried to do that little clacker board, but my finger was in it, so y'all didn't hear it. Good night.